I forgot to ask. Well, we are live right now, ladies and gentlemen. Calvin, so you should be able to share it. And I want you to share it just to your audience. Ladies and gentlemen, we're with one and only Understand a Dog's Mind. Two key words here, comfort and survival. But we'll get into that. But I want to share this. Let me go to Facebook, and I'm sharing on my Bow Wow Bill page. So you got to go to my Bow Wow Bill page. Or if you go to my page here in just a second when I share it, then you should be able to see it as well. And then if whoever's watching this, I don't know if anybody's watching it right now. It takes a little while for it to pick up steam. Ooh, I just got a notification that we're live. So we'll just wait for a bit. Here, Bow Wow Bill. Allow people to join us. If you're joining us just now, let us know where you're watching in the world from. We have people joining us from all over the world. Share. So how do I share on my personal page? Copy link. I got to just copy it and then share it on my personal page. How you doing, Calvin?
Okay, I see. Okay, I see it now. Okay, and I am pixelated. Okay.
Calvin's on old technology, man. We're dog trainers, dude. We're dog trainers. That's what we do. We don't. We're not computer people. I just got a new computer, new setup. So
it would have been better on my phone for sure.
Dude, what we can try it. I could bring it down and then try it on your phone. Click it on your phone. See, is your phone right there?
Yeah, I got my phone, but these headphones, I get to it.
Aren't hooked up to it?
Let me see.
What's up, Catherine? Toronto, Canada. Catherine Smith, I definitely want to be talking to you as well. So I got a little cold. My wife gave me some sniffles. So I'm doing fine, but I might have some sneezes, or it might be just allergies too. It's the season for allergies. Hello. Hi, Big C. Catherine Smith says hi.
How you doing, Catherine? That's an angel right there.
Is it? Big C.
She's she's an angel. She's an angel.
Awesome. We got somebody watching from YouTube. I'm actually sending a lot more people over to my YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed there, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. There we go. I see you. I'm removing this one. All right, dude. So now you're on your phone.
All right.
So much better, dude.
Right. I see. I'm not always in the Stone Ages, baby.
But see how we figure stuff out, you guys? So can you lean it up? Yeah, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Actually, let me put up a link in the comments down below to my YouTube channel. If I could figure it out. I'm still figuring it out, you guys. I train dogs.
I know that's my answer to everything.
I see it live on YouTube right now, man. Here, let me click on this.
I'm just gonna use my phone without the headphones, I guess.
Oh wait, can you guys see Calvin? Because I don't see you on the YouTube. Oh, there you are. There we go. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, beautiful.
I just these headphones no more.
Oh shoot, I was putting up a link to the YouTube channel. So I just shared it on my page. YouTube, like a live stream from YouTube as well. So you probably just click on my personal page and then I'll find a link. Sorry guys, we're figuring this all out, but I wanted to introduce you to my buddy here, Calvin. Calvin is an author of the book that I recommend everybody checking out. I've been chatting with you guys for the last couple live streams about this. Understanding the Dog's Mind Through Survival and Comfort. And I love it. Simple explanations, man. There's a saying that's KISS, KISS, keep it simple, stupid. You know, where people overcomplicate stuff. And I think that people overcomplicate stuff a lot of times to make themselves seem a little bit more brighter than they might be. Okay, so Keith says, "What's up, Calvin?"
Yeah.
But whenever we can break it down into a couple categories, I think it makes it so much easier to explain. And Albert Einstein, he says that if you can't explain something simply enough, then you just simply don't understand it well enough, right?
Hey, B, so check this out. What I may do is that I'm gonna try to, cause where I'm from right now, where I'm at,
What's up,
kind
Julia?
of like you're breaking up a little bit, so I might have to drive a little bit. Where's the keys at to my truck?
Oh no, where's your modem at?
I know, man. So can you? How is it now?
Perfect.
I just don't like it breaking up. That's the reason why we decided to do the laptop, but it'll be fine. It's bad back there.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. But what I was saying is just basically I'm explaining, survival and comfort. When we could think about those two things instead of getting all mixed up with so many other different variables, then it makes things a little bit easier to understand, right? And just like you speak about in your book, we can't make the dog a person. We have to see the world through the dog's eyes and understand what we're dealing with fundamentally, and not mischaracterize the relationship or the attributes that we have as human beings and label them onto the relationship where it's a false identification.
Exactly.
And it's simple as that, right? And so the truth will set you free, but sometimes it's brutal to hear. And so we'll get into that, especially, the love aspect and the familial stuff like that we have as human beings. We're nurturers by nature, but sometimes that can be looked at as kind of a weakness or like a sucker in a dog's eyes, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So are you in a place right now where you can check? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you good. You're not skipping as much as you was, so we good.
Okay. Everybody else hear me okay? Can you mention in the comments if I'm breaking up or skipping at all? But Calvin, where are you located at?
So right now we are in Anna, Texas. I'm going to be moving to Allen, Texas, so close to 45 minutes north of Dallas.
Okay. So Dallas, Fort Worth area.
Yeah, from Arkansas though.
Where in Arkansas?
From Wrightsville, Arkansas, so 15 minutes away from Little Rock.
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically sounds good, even in a hotel. Where can I purchase your books? I'm going to put up that's a great question, man. I can get answer that right now. I'm going to post up a link to Amazon.com.
Amazon. Yep.
Is that the best place to get your book, you think?
As of right now, yes. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep. Amazon. You got the link, don't you?
Yeah, I'm going to post it up for you right here in just a second. It comes right up it populates the search bar right away. You got a lot of great reviews, 5.5 stars.
So I like to make a comment. So Keith, that we just saw that said, "What's up?"
Mm-hmm.
Before I wrote the book, and I was explaining to him, telling him that I want to write a book and write that book, he was just like, "Where you are right now in your mind, as simple as possible, like the stuff that you're explaining to me,
Yes.
right, just like that." And he said, "Man, don't complicate it. Don't try to." He said, "Man, I wish you could write it right now."
Okay.
Yeah, so I shout out to Keith, man. That was some good advice, because it actually floored the process when we as people allow things to make us take a little bit longer at accomplishing things that we need to. So he was a big motivation in that.
Well, and it's a daunting task sometimes. I want to write a book and I want to chat with you about your process as well. And after reading your book, man, it's just like that. Like I said, get out of my head, dude. That's just basically how I talk to my clients, because it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's the truth. And so we all have different ways of presenting it. But bottom line is, man, is your dog is going to tell you if you're full of crap or not.
Yeah.
right? With their behavior. And the other thing with, who's this boy that you mentioned in the book, Toro or something like that? Your dog.
You talking about Beast or Primo?
Primo.
Okay.
You know, Primo fixated on you. You know, I was talking about my last live stream, how I put a harness on my dog and put a GoPro on him. And I got 5.5 acres up here in the Seattle area. And I just let him go. And I was working out on the property, mowing and doing stuff. And I played back that GoPro, man. And I wish I didn't, because it showed me how dedicated that dog was to me.
Yeah.
That GoPro was just me. That
Yeah.
dog just sitting there watching me, bro.
Yes, bro. Yes. And it's great.
You talk about that in your book. Like, you can bring any distraction, anything, and Primo would watch you. Right?
Yeah.
So initially, Keith mentioned to you, man, you need to write a book. You need to do this. But what made you do this? What made you start this project?
So a big part that played in my life, and especially as a dog trainer and advancing, people, you know, some people know my background, but I grew up in Riceville. Man, we had to make our own fun. To spend any money on dogs like that, it was kind of like, it's not a normal thing where I'm from. So, you know, letting my parents know that I was interested in dogs, you know, although they knew that I was already like really interested, but like when I started like looking and seeing like people like being able to do stuff with dogs, it just intrigued me, right? So I got to a point where, yes, I started, you know, gaining the knowledge. You know, it just took time. You know, it took a lot of obsession, and just to see what dogs are able to do, and that they're not going to do nothing unless you know, either like teach them, or you just allow the environment to teach them. So even as a young kid, I was able to see that by me not knowing, you know, what I was doing, that the dogs was trying to communicate with me. Because as a young kid, and not even like, you know, being able to speak to a full adult with the intellect that we have as people, you see this animal that's is looking at you, it looks like it's happy. You see an animal that's, you know, that's just around you. I used to have a dog named Girly, right? She used
Girly, okay.
to treat me like I was like a puppy. But as a kid, I didn't know that, but she was like my friend, you know? So time went by, started learning knowledge, you know, met some great people, you know. I learned mostly, you know, from the dogs, because I've owned a lot of dogs. Like, I've owned a lot of dogs. I even like a lot of dogs. And then it didn't get no better once I got into the dog industry, where it was a lot of, you know, trying to breed, trying to do this, trying to do that. So I've owned a lot of dogs, man.
Awesome. Taryn says, "What's up, Calvin?"
That's my cousin, man. What's
Cool.
up? Parents know. Right. I got a picture out there, man. I wanted a dog so bad one year, man. My parents didn't let me have one, so I put string on a turtle. And my auntie or somebody, my mama, took pictures of me, and now it's haunting me to this day.
If anybody can share that with me, I'd love to post it on the live stream here.
Find it. It should be in my photos. But to get to it, man, so becoming a professional, dealing with people, the thing that I've been able to see in my life is like patterns. And this was before I even got into like learning about like people like that. I remember saying that my years were different. Then I remember saying my months were different. And I remember saying that my weeks were different. Then I remember saying that every day was different. But before, when you're younger, you don't necessarily know that. You think you're in that time frame forever, right?
Right.
So when I started to get off into dog training seriously, started, you know, talking to clients, and people were saying like, hey, my dog has a problem, this, that, and other. I really saw for at least like 5 years that people were saying the exact same thing, but with different dogs. They were saying the exact same thing. They had the same problems. They were not the same people, but they really, really, really loved their dogs. They talk about everything that they've given the dog. They talk about, that since it was a puppy, I've been taking them to Walmart, taking them everywhere with me. And I hear these things over and over and over. So what it does for me, it makes me, like, the way that I think about dogs, I produce results in my head. So I'm able to give people answers, based off of, what they tell me. And I caught myself, man. It was like a loop. I caught myself saying the same stuff
Man.
over and over and over again. It was the same stuff. And I remember it was just one day I was talking to this client, and I was like, it feel like I just have deja vu every day, because I was just telling this client earlier this morning the exact same thing. And I said, you know what? And it was a joke. I said, I should just make a manual, because it's not necessarily the training, like the how to sit, how to do this. It's the before that. It's the communication with the dog. And when people bring in the stuff or when people start to look at dogs the way that they look at people, those be the cases that I have the worst,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know.
So it was just basically like, hey, I need to make a manual. And then as time started going by, it was just like, I got a billion notes in my phone. I'm pretty sure that I can write a book.
And so that's what you did. Did you sit down and do like an outline? Did you like English and stuff in school at all, or are you a big writer before this?
Anybody that knows me, I'm more about the dog than anything. If I spell something wrong, if I say something wrong, my mama used to make jokes, and not jokes, but she always used to say, he, she, it does. And you got, but man, I'm telling you, man, it's just an obsession. And when I say that I'm going to do something, I do it.
That's right, man. And in doing this, you've learned different aspects of how the universe works, right? And we'll get into that, the law of attraction, and some mentors that have helped you with that as well. But I just want to talk about the first, just kind of like the process of like, how did you have an outline?
No. So what I did is that first I knew that I wanted to write a book. All right.
Okay.
I wanted to be like a manual, right? So I wrote that down, that I wanted to write a book and that I was going to accomplish it, right? And then it was just like, okay, what do you talk about? So what I started doing is looking through my notes a lot, right? I was just looking through them. I'm like, hey, this will be good. This will be good. This will be good. But it was like, I didn't necessarily know how to make no outline. So what I did is that I had I had a magazine feature in AY magazine, and the guy that interviewed me, and like basically like everything that I was telling him, he put it in words, and he was like, hey, is this what you mean? I want you to look over it, this and that. And I was like, yeah. So then like some time went by, and I was like, I had called him. I was like, man, I don't know nothing about writing a book, but I really want to do so. And I was like, I got a whole bunch of notes, and I know what I'm talking about. So he came and he sat down with me, man. He basically taught me how to do it. And he basically helped me out with like saying like, this needs to go first. This is a great idea. This needs to do this and that and other. And basically like mentored me through it. And he's a really, really, really great guy. And he's always spoke highly of me. And man, I was really blessed to have him in my life. So that's how that happened.
But it also took you asking and saying, hey, man, I don't know what I don't know. Can you help me?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what we provide with the clients that come to us saying, I don't know where the hell this relationship went off the road into the ditch, but I need help.
Yeah.
Right. And we owe the truth to them, and that's where, I commend you for asking for help, because you got a good product here, man. It's a succinct, when I look through it, I look at all the highlights and stuff that I've done, and it's great stuff, you guys. I recommend it. All dog trainers. I recommend all dog professionals, even groomers, daycare owners, dog walkers. If you work with dogs, you will find some benefit out of this book. The beautiful thing about this book is that not only do you talk about survival and comfort, but you also talk about the antithesis of discomfort. And I think that even when we hold our dogs to a high standard and we have to be consistent with it, sometimes that might not feel the best for the human being. You know, it might feel like we're kind of being not who we are or how we would deal with another person. And it might feel like intimidating, or I don't know, some words, but it's just a lot of people feel uncomfortable holding dogs to account. Would you agree?
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. Because people and what I've learned, because I come from both sides. I come from the side that dogs are dogs, and then I come from the side that we love our dogs and they're like people. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the thing that I'm starting to get more involved in, and what I'm starting to see more and more is that people think that their schedule is being altered by changing themselves for the dog, because it's something that's, it's the unknown. They don't know it, so it makes them uncomfortable. But the
Yeah.
only way to feel comfort is through repetition. And that's the biggest challenge for the dog owner, after receiving a service, is to really understand how they dog think, and then like going about their process on a regular basis. But I got a lot of successful clients that take their dog to the next level, and what that means is like, mentally, and the dog understands them just as well as they understand the dog.
Mm.
And now it's like a walk in the park. We have conversations, and I'm talking about, multiple people, but we have conversations, and it's just amazing, because in all honesty, changing that person was bigger than changing the dog.
Isn't that funny how that happens?
It's
I tell my clients, you're going to learn more from this relationship than this dog will. The dog's just going to be a dog and respond to his environment, but you're going to what kind of stuff do people learn about themselves, Calvin?
So for one, people learn about what we call paradigms. Potty training is a paradigm, that people don't necessarily, it might not be a good paradigm. A paradigm has exclusive control over your habitual behaviors, and most of our behaviors are habitual.
Mm.
So if I have a problem with, paying attention to a puppy, like a lot of people don't pay attention to their dogs. They just don't, you know. But that's that you there's a paradigm there. You have to change it, you know. It's no matter where I'm at, and it's just normal to me. And I just wish that I can give everybody that I meet just a piece of it, is the focus that I have on a dog. If no matter where I'm at, I'm like staring at the dog. I
Mm.
can talk to my woman right here, and I'm just staring at this dog, and then while she talking or something, then they leave or whatever. But it's like, and then too, I did a lot of protection work, so I'm always focusing on the dog, and I can tell you what the dog is going to do before he even does it. But if people just had like 25% of that, but their paradigm has zero, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, man, it's
Well,
people like,
it boils down to pattern recognition, like you started with, man.
yeah,
And seeing this pattern, and then repetition's the mother of learning. That's what I tell people, like over and over and over. It's the mother of learning. Um, and a lot of people just think that love is all you need. They're like, I love this dog, and that's all I need, But it's like, no, they need structure, they need understanding.
yeah,
And we're bringing them into a human world where a lot of contraptions can evoke a fear response. Just like you're talking about that pit bull playing with that balloon,
mm-hmm.
and then it pops.
So the guy that I was telling you about that helped me out with the book, that's actually his dog.
Okay.
That was his dog.
And we got real world stories. And people, if you want, I mean, ask questions, man. We could put into, you know, aspect of a survival comfort of dog. If you guys have any questions for Calvin or I on any behavior, I wanted to mention what Catherine was just saying about, excuse me, you know, something that's so important to me, taking every dog that we can to the next level. That's when life is good for dog and handler, right?
The next level, man. That
And
next level.
what is the next level? What is that? That to me is kind of abstract. So what do you tell people the next level is, and how do you explain that?
So the next level to me is, and this is the thing, like, how can I put this? So do you know how, like, the older a dog gets, right? The better, and if you're a good communicator, the better that communication comes, the dog be more human-like.
Yeah, you better believe it.
Right? So it's like right now, let's say if there was 10 levels, the first level is basically going about dogs the way that people go about people, you know, and not really communicating, and just, you know, we put the food bowl down, the dog eats out of the food bowl. We take the dog on a walk, we put a harness on it. That's like the first level. That's just like getting a dog, you know. But that second level, that third level is like, oh, I can make the, like, basically understanding that the things that I do dictates the dog's behavior. Just like if it was in the wild, like it depends on like the environment that the animal is in. You know, it's like it's thorns over there. The dog understands that is you know, it's a lot of water.
A dog that looks like it's happy. Do people really know what a happy dog looks like? Right?
Nope, not the average person. No.
They mislabel a manic dog as a happy dog, and they inadvertently reward that manic or reactivity or the bad behavior. Like you're saying, a dog is barking, you give him a rawhide, give him a treat to shut him up, to put something in your mouth, and what did you just do?
When discomfort comes, that's how you receive comfort.
Right. You know, and it's a lot of times it's counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why it's important that we talk. And then you have stuff like this out here, right? If you guys want to, I posted up a link down below in the comments for Calvin's book, but it is like a manual, and it's something that is very succinct, and but it also touches on stuff that people just, I mean, just don't realize. A lot of stuff goes counterintuitive, you know. I love it. Be the boss, human. Be the boss, human. You know, and it's basically it's a great book on just kind of understanding that dog's mind and understanding the fundamental motivations that why the dog does. Right? And in Napopo, one of the questions, the very first question that you're asked is, do you know about Napopo?
Yes.
Okay. One of the very first questions they ask is, why does a dog do? And the answer is to better his situation or to bring comfort. Am I breaking up again?
Not to me.
Okay, good. And that's it, man. It boils down to comfort. And so, yeah, it's good stuff, but it's also, does a dog love us? You know, and that's where, like, I have to kind of back people up, man. And first and foremost, like Dave was saying, a dog that looks happy, and it's, do people really know what a happy dog looks like? What do you think a happy dog looks like, Calvin?
Happy dog.
Maybe I can go through. Dude, you got so many freaking pictures, dude. I'm sitting here looking for your turtle, walking a turtle, and you got like, but you got a lot of happy dogs here, man.
Yeah, so a happy dog to me, man, is basically showing it through his overall behavior. You know, a dog that tells you, hey, you know, what you're like, being around you makes me extremely comfortable because I'm able to shut my eyes. I'm able to go to sleep. I'm able to, come to you and ask for things in my dog language. A happy dog isn't a dog that's tail down, stressed out, don't necessarily want to be around you. See, that's another thing. A lot of people love their dogs, but the dogs don't want to go to them. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, very hesitant. Very hesitant.
Um,
That to me speaks on trust.
yeah. So it's like, what do you like you said, to better the situation. So dogs looking at you like, what do you bring to the relationship? And that's in the book too. It's like, it's not about, a relationship isn't about what benefits one person. It's about what benefits the both of you.
Yes.
Both bring to the table. And I think that's where people kind of look at it like, oh, well, I feed my dog and, I play with it, etc. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I don't know if they teach this anywhere. I didn't necessarily like go to school or anything. So if I say anything, you could say, we learned that, or I know about that. If not, then
I'll say, do your thing, man. I think you've gone to plenty of school, man. You've gone to the real school of life.
Yeah.
So you're good.
I would break it down like this, man. Food, which is like the survival aspect, eat or be eaten.
Mm.
And then comfort is the ability to dictate through feeling what it needs to do. Food is its first forms of communication to me. A puppy comes out crying, and then what they do, they go find the teat.
Mm-hmm.
First forms of communication. First form. So when somebody put the food bowl down, it's very detrimental, because for one, the dog is hunting on his own. Yes, you gave it to it, but the reps that is having at eating and finishing that whole bowl without you being present is the actual hunt.
Mm.
And the actual, you know what I'm saying, like the whole nine of like, okay, how do I deal with anything? And it's the same way that I deal with food. I just run up and I get it. So now they see somebody, they want to run up and they want to just, they want to, jump on them. Is
demanding behavior, that's what I call it. But they're very demanding. Hey, you, and it becomes ritualistic. It becomes like the superstitious. Dude, you got these fat dogs, man. You got some picture of McDonald's fat dog from I don't know when, but the ritualistic behavior. They see a person, boom, this is my time to get paid, and a lot of times they're not let down.
And let me tell you this too, man. I had a client a few years back, came to their house, wanted me to like evaluate their whole situation, right?
Okay.
Just like, what am I doing anything wrong? Am I doing anything right? I'm like, act like I'm not here, because I need to see what you do on a regular basis. And then one of the dogs, they had 5 dogs. One of the dogs was like, big older male, and the dog literally like went to his food bowl and he just like put his face down, and he was literally like bobbing his head, but he wasn't eating. And the other dogs was about to finish, and I saw that he like raised up and was about to walk away. And she said, you better finish your food. And he went over there and he ate it. And I was like, wow, you can train a dog to do anything. Like that was a lesson for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Absolutely. it's like I look at the smallest things like that, and I'm like, wow, this dog really did not want to do something, and it did it. You know what I'm saying? Like that blew my mind, man.
You're just like, why did this happening?
Yeah, I'm like how, what? So then it's like that actually put me in a state of mind to where I was like, I could train a dog to do anything if this made this dog eat food. And I knew for a fact he looked like he didn't need food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
Well, I mean, you can just see that unforeseen kind of bond, and as you said too, there's different levels to that, and there's that connection, and it all boils down to trust too, man. But also that respect, and it's almost like sometimes those dogs almost like that army kind of mentality of like ordering, because it makes life simple. It's like, I know exactly what to do. And just like I was saying earlier, keep it simple, stupid. It's like, It's like the dog, it just feels for people to drop commands. It feels like you're being pushy or, and we have to realize that's a human feeling. And that's a human characteristic. And there's strength to be realized too in realizing the commands that you can speak that will be followed and respected every single time with the proper relationship, the proper fundamentals, the proper foundation, the consistency, understanding, right? I think even for a pet, you see the dog ready to engage. What are we doing? You better believe it. A lot of times I've had people tell me, I never realized my dog is speaking to me 24/7.
Facts, 24/7, man.
And I'm like, you better believe it.
They speaking to you 24/7.
Hey, look at my dog. I can speak. She's speaking. This one right here. She's sitting, just looking up at me, relaxed. Hanging out. But that's it, man. Is food? Chris says food, comfort, physical stimulation. Would that be considered I call it dog money?
Yeah.
Just like we might do stuff that we might not want to do, or stay in situations that we absolutely hate, like a job we dread going to every day, because guess what? They pay us money.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so that's what I say. I mean, I'm not saying that I want a dog to do stuff that they dread or anything like that, but it just kind of makes that connection of like, this is an excellent motivator. And then I also like dogs fighting over food or fighting over anything that they want. I'm like, man, what would you think would happen if we were downtown Seattle and I threw open a case of $100 bills, right? And the most like calm person could become an animal.
Yeah.
Because it's very opportunistic, man, and we got some money, to be made, and that could increase our survival. And but that's how I talk to it. It kind of helps with an analogy of that, money.
Oh yeah, and that's why you got to teach the dog abundance.
Ooh,
come on now. And,
do you know why? Because it is a law.
Yeah.
It is a law of nature. And abundance is actually something that I think that we are, the teachings that we could benefit from as well.
Yeah.
So speak about that, man. What do you mean?
So my example would be like, you got a dog that clearly had been eating food by himself. Whatever he got in front of him, that's the end of the world to him. If it came to another dog trying to intervene, it's the world. Like, I'm only used to the repetition of me being here. Now you're dictating my survival because my comfort radar just went off. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is that when you teach a dog abundance, like Primo used to be dog aggressive. He used to be human reactive. But ever since I started showing him, like, it's your attention that gets you paid. It's your willingness to behave in a certain manner. Then he kind of like left everything by the wayside, and he like, a dog come up to him, even though I just gave him, some food. Dog come up to him, he's like, this is not my last meal. I know that I have to do something, or, I know how to get, paid. I know what abundance is. Abundance is just basically that. And people are, people get into a state of mind to where it's lacking limitation, and they feel like that they can't do this, they can't do that, and they track more of that. So it's basically like applying it to your dog. Don't let him think that that's just it and that's all. There's other avenues to get what you want, and it's a lot of it. You just never know. If anything, acting like it's not, acting like it's not going to happen will limit your chances. So a dog don't think like a person, but the laws, when you apply to dogs, man, when you apply those laws to dogs, repetition and all of that, they do it like in the most perfect way.
Well, and then we talk about that with the repetition, but also intermittent rewards, right? Where, and then we also call jackpot.
Yeah.
right? Where we jackpot that dog. And what's more abundant to me than a jackpot, you know? And it just keeps that dog and understanding. And scopolamine, what's his name? Dr. I don't know. I think that's not his name, but he talks about Skopolsky, Dr. Skopolsky, talks about intermittent rewards and how that lights up the dopamine center, right? That the surprise of like abundance is coming, but it's a great way to train a dog, man. You know, it's a great way to train a dog to calm themselves, because right around the next corner could be a jackpot.
Yeah.
If you're mindful, and if you're mindful of me and trust me in the situations that I put you in, and know that, look, repetition is the mother of learning, but we have to know that the first or the fifth repetition might not look like the 100th or the 300th repetition, right? And so we have to keep our minds, a success in our mind's eye. And I think visualization is a huge aspect of this. And, you know, just knowing that there's different laws of nature that we can tap into. And one of those would be the law of like abundance, and just making the dog know, hey, look, all good things are here and plentiful, and they come from me.
Yep. Yep.
And it's pretty simple as that, man. And then also looking at what motivates that dog too, you know. And just like I call that stuff, that dog treats dog money, well, I'll call like you know, regular old kibble is like $5.
Exactly.
Where smoked brisket's like 20 grand, dude. You know, and it's like, dude, that dog deserves a compensation package like way more than they're getting right now for the behavior that they're doing, or, you know, being able to capture or have that jackpot moment. We have to realize that the currency in the dog's mind, and we want to have something that's valuable. And for some dogs, that could mean food. For other dogs, that could mean a tug, right?
Yeah.
Could mean a run, could mean a pet.
See, and that's the thing.
Could mean attention.
I'm glad you said that, because when I talk to my clients and I let them know, like, everything is a reward to your dog. You just got to see what they're seeking in the moment. So if the dog want to use the bathroom, now you can reward him with comfort by, you know, he's not just going to pee on you or anything. You know, you have a leash, you make him sit, you go make him, then you say, relieve yourself. And then he's going to naturally do it anyway. Then the dog say, wow,
I feel good.
I feel good. And it was like,
take stock.
What led to me feeling good? You know, he said this command, you know, he made me sit, you know, petting, you know, some dogs, you know, love to be pet. You know, I had a dog, man. It's an old video I got on YouTube. This dog just like, I told whoever was recording, I was like, man, I bet you I can make this dog run up a tree. And I was just bull crapping, bro. But I just knew that she like was in sync with me, man. I got the video, you know. I know this is gonna sound crazy.
Oh no, it doesn't to me, not at all. But maybe to other people it does.
Yeah, I was like, man, I bet you I can make the dog run up the tree. And no matter what it was, if I told her to go get it, she'd like jump on it, she'd like do whatever. And like I never made her run up a tree. Never even made her even, like, I'm pretty sure she never even like really paid attention to a tree. And I was like, go get it. Go get it. She looked, man, the video is crazy. It don't got a lot of views or nothing, but she like looked at me and she like looked at the tree.
Where's it at? I'll put it up here.
It's on YouTube somewhere, man. I have to find it. Type in
here, let me go to YouTube real quick.
Calvin Wilbon, type in dog climb tree. Should be like an old phone video.
All right. Dog climb a tree. Oh, here, hold on. Let me get back here. Let me share my screen here, you guys, so Calvin can walk it through. And share screen, tab. Can you see it?
Yep, that's it.
Get.
Beautiful.
Get.
And did you click?
Nope, nothing.
Okay.
Get.
She's like, what do you want from me? I love you.
Get.
Oh,
Oh,
you don't hear it. It's in my headphones, but I wish I could put it out on here, but here, I wonder if I can here. No, I can't. But he's just basically saying, get up there, man.
yeah, and like she sniffed and then like jumped down. Like, what did I was supposed to get? And I was like, that was the first time we did that. You know, it was weird because I like made her jump on like a dog house, a big dog house. It was huge. And then I was just talking, talking mess, and I was like, I bet you I can get this dog to jump on that tree, climb up that tree. And he just did it. But she was the type of dog, man, that was like super love affection, love the comfort of like being pet.
And I could tell, man, when she was just bouncing back towards you,
Yeah, man. Yeah,
cool.
But yeah, it's everything is a reward, and you just got to spot that. But people have problems with their dogs. Like accessing outside is a reward, being free is a reward. So it's like, oh well, I work with food, but then if the dog is constantly accessing outside on his own, then the dog says, if I want,
why do I need you?
Then I could just go get it. So I get to the point where I control all of that. And to people that sound bad, but it's not really bad because it's bad that the dog can possibly hurt himself,
Yeah.
And then the dog look at you. I get dogs to a point to where they do the behaviors just like I call it default behaviors. Like I open the door and I'm just wanting the dog to go out, but then the dog just like standing there and I'm like, oh shoot, free, But that's me being a human,
Yeah, I've done that where I get a phone call or something, the dog's still waiting there with the bowl. And I'm like, oh crap, I'm sorry, dude. Have at it, eat it. Just forget me being a human, just like you said,
Yeah.
Here, I got another video that I want to share here. It's the nice video of you, I think, running your dog. Oops, here, let's see. You see it?
Oh, yeah.
Here, let me go. I'm going to put the speakers on here.
I have you did,
Dreams are made of these. Who am I to disagree? Travel the world and the 7 seas. Everybody's looking for something.
Love it. Love it, dude. Good job.
I got a new one up there with that beginner. I like
this one, the mind work one.
Nah, is if you just go to my,
go all these.
Yeah, you have to go to my YouTube. I just uploaded not too long ago.
Is it First Mind K9 or which one is it? The Calvin Wilbon one?
Nah, First Mind K9.
This principal surprised the student with colorblind glasses.
I don't know what's happening here. It's starting to get away from me.
Abort.
That's right. But yeah, I'll have to check it out, man. That was pretty cool, dude. That looks good. And what I love is that dog just like, boom, dude. And that's what, as people that are passionate about dogs, man, when you see dogs that are passionate about what they're doing, dude, that's what it's all about, man.
That's a happy dog.
That's a happy dog. And then when we say the level, taking the dog to the next level, that's what we're talking about, man, is making them happy. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put you back in my headphones here. So
that next level, man, that next level is just the dog looking at you, man, knowing that
they got the knowing that you got them.
Yeah.
That you got their back.
I tell people all day long, man, dogs came here with a success system, and that's just knowing how to live life. They could be junkyard dogs, man, and be happy because they know for a fact of what they're doing, and they gonna make a repetition schedule. I used to it was one year that I couldn't. I was a kid, but I couldn't get no dogs, so I just basically like adopted the dogs in the neighborhood, running around, So it was this one black dog. She was kind of like a pit mix, and I remember like it was like 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock every morning. She would literally like go past the house to go like 2 miles up the road. And I remember catching her walking past the house, and like I like called her to me. She came, I pet her, and then it was off her schedule, and she like left me alone and kept going. And I was like, I didn't know what was going on then, but that's kind of like the experiences that I got that I reached back in my head to be able to do the book. It's like, man, you can create that. If a dog know that 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock every day that it goes to a person's house all the way like down to get some food, man, and then like as happy as ever, know how to dodge traffic, stay there for a little second, come back through, go 3 miles down the road to the gas station. Come on now. Like that should teach you right there as like repetition and then understanding what the dog wants.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And then I know one thing, Calvin is an excellent student. He listens to every word like a Jesuit. You know what? I think that every dog trainer needs to be educated for life, man. There's no finish line here. You know what I'm saying? And when you think that you figured it out, you're dead in the water waiting for that dog to show you what you don't know. And that's where I was like purely positive when I first started way long ago. And then I realized that there's things called competing motivators, and there's things called trust and relationship and rapport, and building rapport, and rapport is power in any relationship. And then realizing that these dogs, even though they might come from the same litter, they might have different wants and different needs. And each individual dog, the wants and needs to that individual animal are just as important as your wants and needs are to you as an individual person. Mm-hmm. Right. And I think that it's our duty as stewards of these animals to make an attempt to understand them in a way that we can fulfill those wants and needs on that level. Right.
Oh, yeah.
And it comes from observation, bro. Like that's the first thing. It's just like looking and learning, and just like I was saying, the best substitute for knowledge is silence.
Yeah.
Just just observe that which is. And it's funny, man, because I'm all about patterns too, dude. Have been since I was a kid. Do you have something to lean your phone up against? I don't want you to get all cramped up from holding your phone.
I'm just going to have to.
Do you have a duct tape roll, like a tape roll? Like something like this? The phone could go slap right there in there, and then you can.
I know
just so people.
And then I'm just going to have to do better with this phone.
You're doing great, man. You're doing fantastic. I just like getting into it with you because Calvin and I have chatted many times before this live stream, and kind of get life on a different level by understanding that law of attraction, abundance, and having some mentors. My mentor is John Assaraf, who learned directly from Bob Proctor. And Calvin, who is your mentors? Are Bob Proctor, right? And
yeah, I got a few mentors.
How did you get introduced to the law of attraction?
Okay, so like, I guess with me, I don't know. It's probably just because of like my upbringing, right? Mm-hmm. And I would say that my parents were a little older when they had me, and the things that I was able to like catch on at a young age played a huge part to where when I started like looking at information, certain things started to grab me, right? Okay. So I've always been big on like, if I want to do something, I have to be really good at it, no matter what it was. I played baseball. People thought I was going to go to the MLB. I cut hair. It's like, oh, he's going to.
You cut hair?
I used to.
That's what I see all these barbershop photos. A fade, man. You got a good. I used to have my fade on. back in the day, but no, don't. The COVID.
Oh yeah, yeah, man.
But it's that eye to detail too. But keep going, man. So
But
you cut hair and
I saw. So as I started getting older, I was like, man, what type of lifestyle I want? And it was like certain family members in my family that I was very attracted to. And then I see, you know, people's lives and stuff like that. Then I see, you know, that people are doing things to get their lifestyle. And it was like, you know, do what you love doing. And then it was like I was more attracted to stuff like that. Then I started to, you know, find out certain things. And then like I think I was probably like 16, 17, and I like saw The Secret.
changed my life.
Yeah, I saw The Secret, and like it never left me, you know, because it's like, and people ask me all the time, like, why you put so much information in the book? Why you put so much information in the book? I said, for people like me.
Yeah.
You know? It's like if you don't, and it's, you know, if you're not looking for it, you won't find it, because it can be in your face and you will never see it and you won't understand it, you know? So it's like, you know, basically at the end of the day, if you're, you know, if you're putting all your energy towards something, you're going to start being more aware of what's going to get you to that next level. And that's just exactly what happened, man. So it took me about 5 years of studying this on my own to finally, you know, get my mentor and get serious about it.
And so how did that happen? Like did you seek out somebody? That's what, dude, I watched the movie The Secret, and then I found John Assaraf, who's on the movie The Secret. You know, he's the vision board dude.
About the house.
Yep, where Keenan was kicking the box, and I even met his kids and everything, man. And I know John very well to this day. He's one of my business mentors, and I owe a lot. Dude, I owe this property that I bought to the law of attraction.
Yeah.
You know, I owe all this stuff to the law of attraction. It's legit. But but the thing is like, just like in the Kabbalion, which is like this old Greek philosophical text that talks about the lips of understanding are sealed except for, or excuse me, the lips of wisdom are sealed except for the ears of understanding. Man, dude, I can't believe I went through every single one of your photos and there's no turtle one here. Dude, you're killing me.
Do Facebook, just type in Facebook Calvin Wilbon Turtle. I bet you it'll pop up.
Okay, Calvin Wilbon Turtle. If I could have done that at the beginning here.
I thought it was like super like not too long ago, but you know, social media.
Oh my gosh, dude. Dude, this is so rad.
Man, my cousin.
Is everybody ready for this here? I know there we go. Hey, I'm a turtle trainer, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a turtle trainer.
Look at my little cousin. Look at the baby in the background too.
I know, dude. You know what I'm gonna do, dude? I'm gonna love it, and so now it becomes more like it's gonna get kicked up to your feed. I'm gonna comment now. So we'll get kicked up to the algorithm. You're welcome.
That's funny. I see it.
Yeah, but that's hold on. What's going on here? There we go. Here, I'll stop this. But yeah, a lot of people don't realize, man, the power of our thoughts, the power of becoming clear, the power of feeling the feelings. What have you learned? I mean, I'm speaking to the choir here, but
ooh, man, hey man, this is my knowledge, man. This is so. Besides dog training, this is my like what I thrive for. Like dog training stuff is only possible because of that, you know. Like I found like the mother to why I was able to do the things I'm doing with dogs. At first I didn't know, you know. But basically what I'm on now, man, is like making my everyday make sense, right? Because I learned like more about paradigms, you know, is that when you start trying to change your paradigm, and this is the reason why people get discouraged, is because they start something new and then they don't know the reason why they feel, like, oh, like I started working out, but I don't know, why I'm not able to work out. It's like figuring out why there's a reason behind that. Yes, it's you at the end of the day, but it's something that's in control of you. But like stuff like that, like amazes me because it's like once I learned that, it was like, dang. And then I applied to dog training. It was like, I have a lot of quotes that I done came up with. And now that I'm into this stuff, like seriously, it's like stuff that I said like years and years ago that people differently. But like, I'll tell you this. So I used to like try to work out all the time, right? And then somehow, some way, my sternum will start hurting. And then I start working out because I just, felt like I can't, etc.
It was discomfort.
Yeah, so it stopped me, but it was basically the cybernetic system that my mindset, that my self-image was on. So every time I tried to change myself, every time I tried to change my physical, the physical part of my body, me, every time I tried to change it and I was off track, I deviated off track, and then that pain will hit my chest and it will pull me back because I never changed my self-image.
Oh,
okay. Like physical, mental, like when people say, oh, I might not work out today. Don't let that control you because it's designed to control you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's actually you is something that has, it's your paradigm. It has exclusive control over your habitual behaviors, and most of our behaviors are habitual. Thoughts, people think that the thoughts that they're having, good, bad, or whatever, they feel like that it's just them, so it has an effect on their mood. And learning what we're learning and knowing what we know is that we have control over that as well. We can bring in thoughts, thoughts to the average person, it just comes out of thin air, right? But until you understand that process, you will start learning how to attract like thoughts. So it's like, you can do anything, man. You can do anything on this earth. It's like it's our job, it's our duty to fulfill what we're supposed to do on this earth. That's the reason why we was born, and we have the ability, and that's where people feel like that they're limited, but we have the ability to do anything, right? So
yes, sir.
Now you got to ask yourself, why am I put on earth? And then that answer comes from yourself. The answer is what do you like to do?
Well, it's also coming from knowing yourself, know, and there's a couple aspects of what you're talking about too, and there's a thing and what I was speaking on earlier about the Kabbalion. Hold on one second. Got a little. The Kabbalion talks about the 7 Hermetic principles. Okay. And 7 Hermetic principles are how this world is ran, basically. And if you understand these 7 Hermetic principles, and one of them you're speaking about right now, which is mentalism, but the principle of mentalism is the principle number 1 of the 7 Hermetic principles, and that is all is mind. The universe is mental, and the universe will respond on your intention. Okay, so understanding that's the first one. And then we have the principle of correspondence, as above, so below, as within, so without. And that's where I get into the visualization aspect. I want this stuff to start seeding within in our mind and in our heart and resonate with us. And so we can start to see it in the physical realm, right? But first we have to see it in the energetic realm and pull it forth in the energetic realm. And guess how many possibilities exist in the energetic realm, Calvin?
Oh,
infinite, all of them. It's just crazy how things can come about, huh? It's actually funny how they can come about, and you can ask for them to come about in a way that you have no doubt that you've brought them about. Okay.
And that's knowing that we have that ability, but a lot of people don't know that we have that ability.
Well, a lot of times I think our conscious mind convinces us somehow that we don't. And it keeps us locked into the physical realm.
Yes.
Right. And we have to understand that there's from the teachers that Calvin and I have, they speak about the mental, what I was just talking about, or the logical realm, and then we have the energetic as well, and the physical. But when you allow the physical realm to dictate your mood, and you allow that to happen on a longer basis, then that becomes a habit. And then as that habit continues, then that becomes your temperament, right? And
yeah.
so then you start to associate with that identity that has really nothing to do with you, who you are. Like I tell people, I'm not Bill, you're not Calvin. Mm-hmm. You're infinite love and energy. Calvin, Wilbon is that's two words. Their name that your parents gave you is not you, right? You're having an experience in this body known as Calvin.
It's the higher personality.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then the principle of vibration is the Hermetic principle number 3. Nothing rests, everything is in motion. And if we were to look at our hands, if we were to look at this desk that I'm sitting at, the microphone, even the voice that I'm using to speak into the microphone, you're going to see that it's a vibratory field, a vibratory energetic field. And we can influence that with access to the energetic realm. We have the principle of polarity, and that's where I think you're getting into these paradigms.
Yeah. So right. It's an up and a down. It's a hot and a cold. It's a positive and negative. It's a yin and yang. Hey, check this out, man. Hey, I love this stuff. So check this out. All right. So have you ever seen a movie? I think Adam Sandler is in it or whatever. Nah. What is it when when they had to act like they was in a relationship, the guy wife either passed away or something, they was firefighters, and when they
Kevin Hart and Adam Sandler.
No, not Kevin.
No, not Kevin Hart. No, Kevin Paul Blart guy.
Kind of heavyset dude.
Yeah, Kevin. What's his name? You guys type it in the comments. I know we got people that will tell us. But go ahead.
He was like, it's so funny because I look at stuff and I see all the keys, man. He was like, he said, life is like a circle. And then no matter what they say, it's like a circle. Because the thing is, and what I get from that is, it's like, if you only living from your physical side, right?
No.
Then the things that's happening in the physical world will have an effect on you. That effect goes into your inner world, which is your mind. Your mind creates the physical world. Therefore, you allow the physical world to create your inner world. So then it becomes a circle.
Well, it becomes a vicious circle too, man, like a catch-22. Until you change that mind, you're not going to change
exactly, bro. So whatever
your world, whatever
results you're getting, and I would tell you this with my career. I've done this before. I was living inside my head, right? So much. Nothing bothered me. Then my physical world caught up and everything was great, right? Because in my inner world, everything was great, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the more I lived in my physical world, the greater things came in my physical world. Well, what happened is that it was overwhelming because I didn't know what happened, So it was like I started living only in the physical world and I left my inner world alone. So it's like, even though I had those days in the physical world where things was like, felt like it was perfect, the time that the physical world changed, everything just went crashing for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because I started living physically and physically only. So that's where I say that circle comes from, is like, you let the inner world influence your outer world, but if you let your outer world influence your inner world, then whatever is going on in your current life, that's what you're going to repeat.
Yeah, absolutely. And to know yourself and to know and be aware of that is key too, because then you just start this repetition cycle.
Yeah.
And then you start to let the physical realm kind of control you. right? And to be aware of that is to know yourself. And what's one of my favorite quotes here? The Oracle of Delphi, know thyself.
Let me see if I can find my other phone.
Know thyself. Here, I want to talk about too that. So we left off on polarity, and it's not just important to understand the law of polarity, but also to understand the nature of the paradigm that you're dealing with and the polarity that exists there. Okay. For instance, if you didn't understand that you thought that liquid was meant to put out a fire, and you saw this gas can and you thought that this gas can was going to put out a fire because it was liquid, you would be in for a rude awakening, right? Because you didn't understand the polarity of that environment. And it comes from sometimes consequences that are brutal, right? And here it is. The Oracle of Delphi says, "Heed these words, you who wish to probe the depths of nature. If you do not find within yourself that which you seek, neither will you find it outside. If you ignore the wonders of your own house, how do you expect to find other wonders? In you is hidden the treasure of treasures. Know thyself, and you will know the universe and the gods."
Can you please send it to me?
Oh yeah, you got it, my bro. I got you. And then so number 4 was the principle of polarity, and then we have 3 more: principle of rhythm, and I think that speaks to that circular thing presenting itself, and that's a rhythmic.
Sure.
When we see a frequency, we see a line, but we only see 2 dimension. What we have to realize is that line is a circular pattern. We're just seeing it flat on a screen. Does that make sense? And so the rhythm, and same thing with the pendulum. I'm just talking about rhythm like this, but we could look at a pendulum swinging back and forth, or like this too, and then coming back to the same situation, understanding. And this is where the rhythm gets in. What is a rhythm? It's a pattern.
Yeah. Once you give over there, you get over here.
That's right. And then understanding, looking at that rhythm. And the more that we understand, then you see that there's a cause and effect. Everything has a cause and everything has an effect. And then we get into the survival and the comfort that the dogs seek because of the effects that they have seen. I mean, at the very beginning, where you talk about the bowl with the lid slamming shut, and the dog, the cause and effect. Dog, every time I walk near that bowl, the effect is that door, that thing shuts. Are you puking? Oh dang it! My dog needs to eat some. Come here, baby. Hop up. Eat a snack or something. She's puking behind me. And so that's it, the cause of effect. And then the last principle is gender. Everything has masculine and feminine principles. Gender manifests on all planes. And we have man and woman, and then we have dogs that are female, male, and we also have in the plants, and we have representation of that gender, the principle of gender, and that's all 7 Hermetic principles, folks. So
what's crazy, Bill, is that I want to say this. I want to speak this because it's real. Realistically, the stuff that we're learning has always been in our face, but the way that we was raised by society, it taught us to look at the most simplest thing, say it's simple and that it's easy, and ignore it. Like I feel it all the time, man. Like the law of gender. So like it's like most people try to figure out, why am I not where I want to be at, and I didn't put some work in, right? But the thing is like the law of gender, it's basically like, it's almost like polarity, but it's like,
yeah, it is almost like polarity.
Yeah. So if you put time into something, and then if you don't put time into something, right, which one is going to get you more results?
That's right.
What you put time into.
Energy flows where focus goes.
Exactly. So it's like when people want to execute something, like one of our exercises is like, and I caught on to what they was doing, but it was like, all right, write down when you're going to go talk to a financial advisor. write down, and then you have to do it. And then it's like the next week is like, okay, write down when you're gonna do this, write down, and then like it's your job to do it. But it's like, I mean, my parents taught me that, you know. But it's like, why didn't I never take it as seriously?
Because it didn't benefit you
at the time,
right? And that now you have different eyes, just like you're saying, as we move forward in life, and with great, I think also with great gifts comes great responsibilities too, right? And you start to see the things differently, and you start to want to wake up people to how the world really works. And you get heartbroken a lot of times because you see a lot of people would rather stay asleep and kind of in the pattern of living in the physical, because it is a little bit more comfortable, especially at the beginning, when the discomfort is going to be definitely much greater. Just like if we were to work out and the next day we're super sore at the beginning, but as we build that muscle, we get better at it. And there's an exercise, but there's that inner size too. And the universe is mental, man. So I think that you should set up tests for yourself that confirm for you by, I mean, I don't know. I mean, see if you can manifest what you manifest, but just think. And what I tell people is like, you got to be grateful, and you got to be in that mindset of being grateful. And the things that you're grateful about, like your health, your family, your, all that stuff, start to think about them, love on it, and just be like, I'm so lucky as a person to be experiencing life. And then start to get into that that mindset of what's next, what do I want to do, how do you do it, man? Am I making sense first and foremost, or am I just speaking?
So I'm gonna tell you this, man, is that, and I think I said this before, I probably already said it on here, or, we talk so much on this subject, but I would say, man, the things that I wanted before got me to where I am now. And now that I see where I'm at, I know how to go further.
Yep.
So the thing that I've been learning too is like emotion. So one of my sayings to my sons that I repeat to them is that I have all control over my mood and feelings. I choose positivity, and I make them say it all the time. See, at first, so even like, and I'm gonna tell you another thing. So like my prayer that I say to my son sons is, I believe in me. I have faith in my abilities that will help me achieve greatness beyond measures that anyone can see. My desire to be the best will always guide me. I believe in God and that God put himself in me. The belief in my eyes is the faith that I can see. I am Calvin and Jason Wilbon. So I would say that belief is what holds people back, because the belief that they have dictates how they can feel about something. Because I remember wanting to manifest things and I'm like, it's not coming, but it's because I really didn't trust and believe that it was going to come. So therefore it gave me a dull type of mood.
Yeah.
So if you teach a kid that they have control over their moods and their feelings, then when they say, I want to be happy, through repetition, they become happy, Yeah. So I've manifested a lot of stuff in my life, man. I have, man. I'm a firm believer. That's how I live my life. I'm 100% off faith. I learned, like, one of my mentors, he said, Calvin, you got an MBA in the School of Hard Knocks.
Yep, I believe it. And
I'm still learning to this day. I try to get help, but the thing is that I learned too about life is that it's about learning. First, it's about learning how to get things out of life. And then two, it's about learning what to actually ask for. So that's where people don't like failure, but failure is actually good.
Fail harder.
Is like, you have to, it's a lot.
That's why we're here, man. Like, when you start to really look at it, like, we're here to learn, and that comes about through experience and failure and failing and just not letting it affect you in some way that people just it's crazy, man. Dude, guess what?
Yeah.
I got another patron.
Really? That's what's up. Go ahead and explode there right quick.
So this is one of the ways that we're going to illustrate how to use the law of attraction, you guys. So I'm going to put up down in the link below on my Patreon page. And if you guys find value in the content that I create here, I have a dream to be a content creator where I can go visit Calvin, sit in his living room with maybe a camera crew or something, and not just Calvin, but dog trainers all throughout the world, to just bring about a bigger understanding and a bigger world that exists out there. And right now, man, I got my first one yesterday and I got my second one today, dude. And just the feeling that I feel, I just like how it just freaking makes my heart explode, bro. Just like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I cannot wait, and I just, I'm so grateful that I get to live the life of my dreams every day and just hang out with these dogs. And now I'm going to be making money talking to people that do the same. So,
what's crazy, man, is that even with me being a really like a dog fanatic and learning this, I never set myself down and asked me what I wanted. I never did that. And I got a buddy back home that's renting out my facility in Arkansas. And we was just chopping it up, and he thanked me a lot. I really thank him for his conversations. And, when you start getting off into stuff like this, it's very important to the person that's learning it, not to just hear it, but to also be able to give it. Right. Mm-hmm. So he was just like, he was like, man, he was like, I really appreciate you. And, I just want to let you know that I'm doing a lot better, etc. And I got to a point to where I was really like thinking to myself, and I was like, man, anything that I've ever done in my life, the biggest thing that I've ran into was challenges, right? But it's like through repetition, I began to become addicted to it, Mm-hmm. And I think that people alone, just because they feel discomfort, that's just like with a dog. Now ain't nobody telling nobody to make a dog just go hurt himself or whatever the case.
No.
Run up against a wall.
And when we say discomfort, dude, I'm not talking about like hitting them overhead with a bat or anything that is out of the realm, man. What I'm talking about is a way that dog still has sense of mind to fix their situation. Or, even with a come to Jesus correction, I'm setting up the situation where the dog's going to correct themselves. It's just the tools and the equipment that I use are going to make that the most effective and efficient correction. So that dog learns as quickly as possible through the way a dog learns.
Exactly. And I would say, man, most people don't get the repetition and going in the uncomfortable direction long enough to feel the satisfaction of it. The satisfaction of just like going through it. Like, it's a lot of things that I've been like challenging myself to do. And I learned when I withhold from it and that I actually follow through, I fall in love with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, man. Like, it is absolutely crazy. So,
do you know about Dr. Joe?
Yeah, Joe Dispenza.
Yeah, I'm going to shout him out, man. I got it. He's having an event this weekend. My friends are going to it. I went to the one down in Cancun that he had. You guys, this guy, his name is Dr. Joe Dispenza. I can't recommend him highly enough. And I posted up some meditations. These are some of his events that he has where people are standing out here, and every single one of these people are wearing headphones and they're doing a walking meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And these meditations, Dr. Joe makes them, and it's a guided meditation. And I always had some challenges. Like about 20 years ago, I belonged to this meditation retreat, and we would go and try to get into that space, the quantum, the nothing. And it was it is challenging, even with his help. It's challenging, just like what we spoke about working out or anything else is. But when you're done with it, man, I mean, listen to this, you guys. You fall in love with it. And just like Calvin was saying, do you know what love is? Love is oxytocin, right? That's the chemical that makes us feel love. And the very interesting thing is that they have case studies here with Dr. Joe, where if you go to this proof, you're going to see that it's all scientific research where we put EEGs on our heads and watch the brain waves change as we meditate, as we go from alpha, beta, theta to delta, and essentially sitting there, and our body's asleep, but our mind is very much awake. And in fact, I wonder if they have some of these scans here, man, because the mind actually, look at all these people in EEGs that they're connecting. Everybody in here is meditating, folks. Okay, some people put hands up on their lap so they can send and receive energy. I do. And it's been 10 years. We have, look at this, you guys. This is high beta over to gamma, okay? And what happens?
Anymore. It becomes subconscious.
I don't know if I want to share it because I don't have permission here. But I just want you guys to see these brain waves with people that are deep in meditation. It looks like they're having a seizure.
Between each pair of heartbeats is changing some.
And then here's the heartbeat, the heartbeat coherence,
the instantaneous heart rate.
And we see that what happens is that coherence happens. And so all of our heartbeats start beating the same beat, man. We start getting into the same vibratory frequency.
Heart coherence, yeah.
Heart coherence, man. Heart and mind coherence. And that's what's cool about this stuff, you guys, is that we have case studies. Look at these brain waves. And that's what when you're going to these events during meditation, look at that, you guys.
Electrodes sent down and cables so that we could
this is people meditating.
Simultaneously record the electrocardiogram or the heartbeat and the brainwaves.
It's the electrocardiogram, so it's a heart and the brain that they record. Okay.
The red arrows are showing.
And then here's where they synchronize. And
hey, Bill, check this out, bro. I learned just through doing this so much, and then too, you know how you said it,
it's what? Oh, it went out. Oh, there you go. I can hear you now.
This is what I want people to kind of hear me say is that when anything is challenging, the drive, the desire to figuring it out pushes you through. Like I have stuff on my wall that I've said, and I read it, and I really believe it because it came to me. It was a thought. It was our side of myself speaking to me. Those where thoughts come from. So when you don't know something, just like you said, it's challenging to kind of do it, but it's just the fact that you keep trying and you trying and you trying and you bring in thoughts, and then you bring in answers. An answer is a thought is an answer at the end of the day. But through doing this, man, I've been able to make myself feel a way. I can't explain it right now. And it is, I just can't explain it right now, but I can make myself feel a certain type of way on the inside. So I did this with attracting an individual to reach out to me, very wealthy guy. But I was like, I'm about to just try it, and I'm going to stay consistent, because this feeling that I can make myself feel, I've only been able to make myself feel like that upwards to 5 seconds. But now I can do 10 seconds, 15 seconds. And it's crazy because it's at first it was if I would have just attempted it and I did it a little bit, but then I attempted it, then the times that it didn't happen and I just failed at it, I wouldn't have never made it grow. So that's with anything. Everything on earth, man, has some form. Everything here is for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Bad, good. There's good in every bad, and there's bad in every good. Is our job, and what Bob says is that it's our duty to find the good in anything. There's no such thing as no good, no matter what you may go through in your life.
Interesting. Okay. Bob who?
Bob Proctor.
Okay.
Bob Proctor.
For those that might not know.
Yeah.
Well, and that's like everything is mental, man. That's what first principle of the Hermetic principles is the universe is mental. And then look around your room. In fact, look at that room in itself. And then tell me something that didn't start out as a thought first.
Exactly. Every single thing.
That's right. So it starts in here, and then it has to manifest out here. And so holding on to that, and even though it hasn't manifested, even though we don't see it on our timetable, understanding, which that's another interesting word, understand, right?
Bro.
To walk around it, to walk under, be able to have such confidence that you're able to walk underneath it and to stand under it. That's understanding, right? And sometimes it takes you to walk around that sucker a couple times and be like, okay, cool, man. Now I understand it. And then boom.
You know what's crazy, man, is that if I get an idea, like even with writing a book, even with coming up with the name, I still study it. Like I still study my book. I still read my book, right? So the thing that I've learned is that when these ideas come to you, it's upon you to make it make sense to your mind. Like it's a lot of things that we allow to control our behavior. So thoughts becomes feelings becomes your actions.
That's right.
Right. So when you're having a bad day, everything is going bad. If those are thoughts that's consistent on your mind, you're going to have bad feelings. Then from bad feelings, you're going to react. This is almost equivalent to, you know, I get this all the time, man. Like, and it kind of, anyways, I'm not going to go on a tangent, but when somebody is having a bad day and they're thinking so much, and it could be about you, right? So
ruminating.
Yeah, they're thinking so much, and then it changes their mood. Now, when it changes their mood, you could have went up to them and said, "You want an apple?" And I said, "I don't want no apple." Why did you react that way? Because of your feelings. Why did you have those feelings? Because of your thoughts.
Well, and that reaction is a huge word too, you know, and it's not what happens to us, but how we respond to it, right? Mm-hmm. And there's this gentleman named Viktor Frankl, and he was a doctor, and he went through the Holocaust, man, and he was in Auschwitz and death camps. And he wrote a book, dude. I highly recommend it. It's called Man's Search for Meaning. And it has one of my favorite quotes in it. And he talks about, I'm going to pull it up just so I can get it, between stimulus and response. Okay, between stimulus and response, there is a space. So the stimulus was like, do you want an apple? And the response was, no, I don't want a damn apple, because the mood affected and I don't even call it a response then. I call it a reaction, right? Because that's what you called it, because it's a reaction. It's not, it's like a chemical reaction, like this happens, that happens, boom, this happens, that happens. There's no space in between that for you to figure out your response as far as who you are as a person. You're letting the physical realm control you by being reactive. Okay. And then he says that between stimulus and response, there's a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom.
Bro.
One of my favorites, dude. And this guy was in the Holocaust, you guys. This guy saw that if people gave up, it's a very dark book. I'd highly recommend it. I highly recommend it. Dr. Jordan Peterson talks about, and so does, you know, a lot of Carl Jung talks about shadow work and facing the shadow and looking at some of the depth of depravity that humanity is capable of, and knowing that you are capable of that as well. And to step into that and not to obsess or anything about that, but just to know that that's part of that shadow work of where we exist and who we are, as far as like working through. And that's where I think where Bob says there's nothing really bad as long as we can turn it into gold eventually by getting the lessons. But your response is not what happens to us, but how we respond to it.
You know what I've learned, and that I'm starting to feel like no matter if it's with my fiance, it's no matter if it's with, somebody that I'm around all the time, a family member. The thing that I've done at such a young age is that I would never, if somebody had an attitude with me or somebody got into it with me, I would always leave room, meaning that I won't respond in an ill way, because I always felt like that it's easier to come to me. If I didn't say anything back wrong, it's easier to come to me, and life can just move forward, versus if I was to react in a bad way. So long story short is that even in my life now, if I respond to somebody in an ill manner, even though it's like to protect myself, or if it's like to, kind of like to throw a shot back, I feel like a million times worse. But I've always found out that when I don't take a shot back, when I don't react in a bad way, and it's not even like, being rude and not responding, but deep down in my heart, I always feel great.
Yeah.
Oh,
When you look back, hindsight's 2020, and it's basically walking with excellence, walking with integrity, right? And it's like, it's not allowing that mood to muck up your mood, because then that's really influencing you. You know what I'm saying? And then, but there's also righteous anger is a gift too, right? What I'm saying, there's evil in this world. And there's evil that exists in this world, and sometimes we get caught up in some of this stuff, but it's not. It's also righteous anger and self-defense, and all that stuff it takes understanding as well, and how to stand, where to stand, and how to stand in the truth, and understanding force neutralizes violence. So if somebody wants to commit violence upon you, you have the self-defense. It's actually a law, the feminine principle of self-defense, a masculine, or the feminine principle of do no harm, and the masculine defense, or the masculine law of self-defense, right? So do not aggress upon another person, do not commit violence another person, because violence comes from the root word violate, to violate their natural law, right to exist on this planet, to learn principles that, like we're talking about now, the law of attraction, energetic principles, and things that we apply to our lives to raise our own consciousness as individuals. And as we raise our consciousness as individuals, others may see that it is possible, and hopefully take suit and follow and raise their consciousness in the way that they seek fit as well, right? And that's our role as individuals here. But to know where we belong, and to recognize that stuff, and not to focus on evil, especially in dog training and stuff, but to call it out when you see it in a very matter-of-fact way, and to stand in the truth in a way that isn't salacious, that isn't rude. I mean, it might be construed as rude, or perceived as rude, but it's you standing in the truth. And I think that calling people out when they're trying to sell you a bag of lies is important as well. It's just that you don't need to stoop to their level to do that. Yeah. That makes sense.
I would say, man, for the people that's listening, everybody got their own life. Everybody got their own challenges. Everybody had, their own upbringing. Everybody has their own programming, the way that they do things. I would highly advise people, man, to really take time away from social media, take time away from people, and to figure out what you want. And then as you figure that out, you will attract like-minded people. I want to shout out Teresa.
That's my very first. Thanks for shouting her out, because I want to shout her out too. You're my very first Patreon follower, and I kind of tell you how much I love and appreciate you, Teresa. And she introduced me to my man here.
And I got people that I can talk about. I got Guy brother Devin Hall. I got another brother, Isaiah John. You know, I got my fiance, I got my family, but the thing is that when you're on a certain path, that's why Bob Proctor says, he says, most people, he said 98% of the people isn't living their life. You know, they're just other people are doing. When you see the majority of people doing something, you got to ask yourself, do they know what they're doing? And it's like, it's a lot of stuff that fights against what we know, and we want to call it crazy. We want to call it mad talk. We don't, you know, want to listen, etc. But what I found that was the most, like, that was really healthy is being in a circle to where any given conversation, you learn something or you teach something.
Yeah, I like that too.
So I just want to throw that out there, man.
Yeah, I like that too. And anybody that wants to belong to our network, they do what I think I'm going to do. Monthly Zoom hangouts for my Patreon people, where we just hang out, you know, because I want to get to know people and just chat with them and invite special guests. But I'm just kind of thinking of different stuff that I can get out and just meet people and talk about this stuff, because your network is your net worth, you know, and I've talked about that and you know, but you also have to realize that there might be some toxicity that you might need to let go and let them just kind of figure it out on their own sometimes too, man. And just what I do is I bless people. I just bless them and know that we all have our lessons. We all have our things that we need to learn. And sometimes we're going to be, our paths are going to coincide, and sometimes they might diverge. And I just pray that maybe they coincide again, or we're back together on the other side, or whatever it is. But I know that that's the beauty of each one of us having our own motives and our own perceptions and coming together. That's a beautiful thing about having a good network, is that our percepts come together to form concepts. And so we get a better understanding. And that's why I do these live streams with dog trainers. And so people, the audience, you listeners, can get a better concept of how we communicate, how we can communicate, and also how to maybe change things if you're not liking your life or the outcome of your life. Understand that it starts by changing yourself. And a lot of people don't like hearing that. And Dr. Wayne Dyer, he says when you change the things you look at, the things you look at will change. Wait, does that make sense? Yeah, when you change the way you look at things, the things that you look at will change. And you start to see you start to see the world through different eyes, right? What's up, Tasha? Thank you for being here. One love. I love that hat. And you start to hear it through different ears. And as you start to progress, and you start to get little certainties that are going to tell you're on the right path, man. And and synchronicities, and I call it, like, there's so many times that it's synchromistic, you know, because there's like, dude, this is too coincidental.
Yeah.
You know, and pay attention to that shit, because that's the universe winking at you.
Man, I'm gonna tell you this, and people are like, man, how you was able to write a book, how you able to draw this stuff out of your head. To be honest with you, and Joe Dispenza talked about it in Becoming Supernatural.
Yeah.
This no bull crap, man. It's like he had a story where he was sitting on the couch and he was looking at the younger version of himself, or looking at himself, and was able, it was like a real time in his life, but he was looking at himself as like he was an adult, but he was looking at himself from another time frame or whatever.
Yeah.
No bull crap, man. The more I obsess, the more I think about dogs, the more I bring in like thoughts, and just obsessed as I am, and I put it in a book. You know, everybody believes in something. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Put it in the book. It was like, I went to God with a burning desire. You know, I was like, I really want to understand this animal. I really want to but I didn't know how I was going to get it. But it bothered me so much that I was able to sleep.
Obsess.
I was think, you know, and no bull crap, man. And talking about talking it out, you know, doing everything, my guy helping me, I was able to come up with those things because I real deal felt and I witnessed my life in like a timeline and every single thing that a dog did around me when I was a kid.
Interesting.
But I was an adult, but I was looking at the kid version of myself. And Joe Dispenza, when he said that, I like threw the book down, and then my woman was like, "What's wrong?" And then like I picked it up, I highlighted it.
Dude, that's like me.
Man, I'm not crazy. I said, man, I'm not crazy. And then I told my woman, I was like, I real deal had this experience, and it was clear as day. I remember when Girly had her puppies, and like she went through these stickers, and she had made this like eggshell type of like thing where she like had her puppies at, and like I was just sitting there, and then when it was time for her to go, she like stood up and was walking away, and she stopped, and she looked at me, and she stared at me so long that it made me a little uncomfortable. And it was like my mama telling me like, "Come on, boy, come on." And like the dog didn't say nothing, of course, but it was like she was just standing there facing in that direction, looking back at me because I was still messing with the puppies. And when I got up to walk towards her, she turned her head and we started walking. Like that, I've always tried to explain that story to somebody before. But then when I started getting these visions and I started seeing it clear as day, I was like, I remember how it was set up and everything. I could draw it, So he talks about those experiences, and it was pretty cool to see that we as people, or know that we as people have these powers. We have actual power, but the challenge is like believing and then learning and then like taking action. Yeah.
Well, I'm failing and then going back and doing it again and then failing again, man, and then going back and doing it again and then be like, holy shit, I did it. And be like, if I did that, I could do anything,
bro. Anything
you put your mind to, dude. And that's why we're here, as far as I think on earth, and as far as like manifesting to the bodies of the human beings. And I call it the spark of the divine. We all have the spark of the divine that gives us this life. And just understanding these principles, I think is fundamental, but also doing the work, right? And just like, I got some dishes I need to do whenever, and I got some, a little box, an Amazon box that the dogs are tearing up over there, and a bowl and stuff that I need to clean up here, man. And it's very easy to see how messes manifest themselves in the physical realm.
Mm-hmm.
But we also need to realize that there's that energetic realm, and just like these dishes are building up on the counter and getting stinky, you might not know it, but you might have some energetic backups that you need to build or you need to get through, right? And you might have been waiting 17,000 lifetimes to get through them. What's up, Dana? And just like know that this is your soul. This is your soul trying to wake you up, man. And your soul doesn't want to watch Netflix, dude. I mean, it does sometimes, I'm sure, like a little relaxed, but that's not why it's here, dude. You're not here to watch Netflix. You're not here to consume. I mean, that is an aspect of life that is enjoyable, but you're here to create. And regardless of where we belong, where we believe we come from a creator, regardless of what we call that, Yahweh, Jesus, God, Muhammad. It's all a creator, and that's what I call it. Like we come from a creator, and therefore we are mini creators. See, and so that's the goal.
Bob explains. He says that the same laws govern the same laws that govern your physical world also govern your inner world.
Absolutely. As within, so without, man.
Yeah,
the Hermetic principle.
So what I got from that, man, is like you try to ask yourself, like, why is this happening? Why did this happen? And you looking at it from a physical standpoint, you're like, dang, it's pretty messed up. But you can apply the same thing inside. So it's like, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Like my cousin, he's an artist, right? And I had told him, Like he speaks a lot. Like he's very, very talented. But in his raps, he speak a lot of sorrow, like sad stuff. But it sound good. He put out a song, a rap, whatever you call it. He put it out, and I was listening to it. And first go around, I was like, dang, it was really, really nice. The second go around, I actually listened to the lyrics. And the lyrics was of things like I told him. It was of things that he want to happen. And when I tell you, man, when I listen to that, like I listened to it like 20 times. He just released it out on TikTok today. I listened to it like 20 times, and it was like of him speaking positivity, you know.
How did you both meet? Teresa introduced us, Teresa Cameron.
Yep.
And then I got his book. I just chatted with him. Man, we met on Messenger, and then we called that day, and then we started chatting, and we gel really well, man, because we understand and have applied a lot of this stuff to our own lives, and it's really cool when you can just pick up on this type of teaching that the majority of people don't know, you know, and that you can really tap in and start getting into a deeper level of conversation. It's just like that next level of the taking that dog to the next level. I think this is taking the human to the next level.
Yeah. And the thing is that like I try to tell people this about the book, but it's like if you read it one time, it's cool. You read it 2 times, you're gonna find something in there that wasn't in yourself before. So like the power of repetition, like, you know, I didn't see my book on eBay. I didn't see it because people like read it one time and be done. I'm like, no, buy another one. You know, like you need to
out
your life. But this is the thing, is like even with like I can give you an answer right now, Bill. I can tell you something, I can give you a quote. That one quote has like a million different levels, and it's been a lot of things that I didn't see, or quotes that I didn't even made, to where it's like I didn't heard the exact same thing, but then later at being on this path, I see the same thing, and it makes a ton of sense. I will go through my phone. I'm like, dang, it seemed like I wrote this quote down or these words before, and it's because I did. But the way that the how it makes me feel now is a lot differently than it made me feel then. But I have a better understanding of what I consume myself with, or whatever I was able to read and grab a greater understanding. So with people, it's kind of like, I don't understand it, and then they like leave it alone.
Yeah.
Give
up.
It's crazy, man. It's like, oh my God.
Well, and I think that because that's intellectually lazy, and I think that we are, as far as schooling, is an indoctrination system that doesn't really teach kids how to critically think for themselves. It actually teaches them to accept answers, accept declarative sentences without question, and it essentially conditions them to not question even their own life, and I think that it has to do fundamentally with parental abandonment aspect. I mean, it's not a good, it's just, you need to question life. You need to be able to know how to critically think, right? And I think that that's a whole other topic. The trivium, the aspect of like grammar, rhetoric, or grammar, logic, and rhetoric, realizing what are logical fallacies, how to flush them out, and then when you do that, then we can speak the truth. And I think if the world knew that, oh man, I see this so many fallacies every day. I can't even look at social media. I can't even look at the news, the programming, because it's like, it's not speaking to me. Mm-hmm. It can't speak to me because it's not the truth. It's just vapid smoke and mirrors. There might be 1 ounce of truth per 5 tons of crap and spin, and there's a motive behind it of usually keeping people in the fear and from realizing what their true potential is. So, and then you have colors too. Like I go look at a newscast. I bet you the color that you're primarily going to see is blue. It's a trust color. That's why I trust my man right here wearing a blue shirt. He's on it. Well, bro, I mean, we've been chatting for almost 2 hours, man, but I want to do this again. Calvin's just going to be coming on every once in a while, I'm sure.
Let's make it happen, bro. Let's make it happen.
Well, once you get a new computer, we'll do it good. We'll do it up. But I like to talk about this stuff. We might even do some law of attraction type of stuff in the future. But how can people find you? What do we got here? Tasha says, I'm a new trainer and I find myself getting discouraged because I'm comparing myself. I have to remind myself that I'm new to this and I shouldn't be so hard on myself to change my perspective. Hey, Tasha, you're welcome. Send me a message or bowwowbill@gmail too. And I would love to have you join me on one of these live streams if you're interested, if that's something that you would consider. Because I want to speak to people that are new in the industry with 2 years or under their belt. And Calvin, did I see you were offering an online course?
Yes. So I just advise people to reach out to me, and then I send the information that way.
Okay. What's the best way for them to get to you?
So you can direct message me on
Yay.
Calvin Wilbon. You can find me on First Mind K9, the Facebook page. You can find me on Instagram. That's K9_ Calvin Wilbon. You can find me on TikTok as Dance with Dogs, DANCEWIT.
Oh, damn. I can't even put up all these. Here, I want to figure out. I guess I'm trying to find them all. Yeah, so just reach out to him. I'm going to put up. Here, let me do this. Let's just do them again here. So Insta, hold on. Your Insta?
K9_ Calvin Wilbon.
K9_ Calvin. There it is. All right, so let me share this. And then I'm so clumsy at this sometimes. But I'm learning, man. It's just me, one-man show. There's the Insta, and then the TikTok is Dances with Dogs.
Yeah, Dance, WIT DOGS. And then YouTube is First Mind K9.
Dance. Say that again. With Dogs.
Yeah, DANCEWIT DOGS.
DOGS. Dance with the Devil. Hold on. Let's see accounts. Verify to continue. Sorry, I gotta verify. Dance with Dog. Got it, man. How do I share this like this? Copy link. Yeah, it's worth to have these links down here. I'm the YouTube Bill Film Calvin TikTok. Oh, cool, man. Yeah, I have Tasha. I have over 100 interviews with dog trainers. But you're welcome to chat with me anytime. And if you feel interested, we could do a live stream. But if not, then I'd be happy to help you behind the scenes here, or Calvin as well. I have a TikTok like Bow Wow Bill, but I don't ever do it. I don't hardly do the YouTube stuff. But I commend you for starting to work with dogs, and there is a wealth of resources that are available to you. It's just being able to know and decipher who to learn from. And not only that, but to also take time with the information that you learn and be able to apply it and to understand it. A lot of people I got to go subscribe to you. I just subscribed to you. I'm going to hit my bell notification, Calvin.
So this is what I want to, is it Tasha?
Yeah, let's talk to Tasha for a little bit.
Tasha, I'm going to tell you everything that we're talking about. The reason why I believe it is because of what I was able to do with dogs, right? I didn't know what I was doing, but I just kept going. And I had an image in my head, and I accomplished that image by feeling like I was that person. And now I am who I am. And of course I have room to grow. I have room to be better. That don't mean that I'm better than anybody. That don't mean nothing of that sort. It's just I had an image in my head. I knew exactly how I wanted my dogs to be. And it's nothing that I can say right now that I would rather wish that my dog could do, because I'm the person that I always felt like I was that person before. So this is my advice to any dog trainer that's wanting to become a dog trainer. Allow people to speed you up at the knowledge that they have. That don't always mean that it's right, but the knowledge that they have of this animal, because what you're doing is you're building an image in your mind of how the dog thinks. So the way that people train, the way that people talk about dogs, soak all that up and think about it more than, like, you're going to apply it, but think about it more than anything. Okay. This is the key. If you allow people to show you potential, if you allow people to kind of talk to you, tell you about dogs, have conversations about dogs, now you're learning something. You're learning about the dog. But this is the ultimate key, is to allow the dog to be your teacher.
Boom. And that comes through time and observation, man.
Exactly.
And recognizing patterns. Just like that's one of the first things that Calvin said, man. It's like, he's like, I'm a interesting kid. I recognize patterns. And I'm just like, dude, so do I. Like, it's crazy how I do, you know, and that's it, man. It's like, sit back, observe without reaction, right? Without reaction, right? Our response lies, our freedom and our growth is in that response. So take that time, man. Take that time to just be with those dogs. Yeah. Take that time to observe them. And if something peculiar happens, just like Jenny, listen to Jenny, my the gal that runs the Seattle Dog Rescue. I did a couple interviews ago, and she was like, hey, you guys, like, I have this aggressive dog, and we went swimming, and the dog was fine after she went swimming. Why is that, right? And I'm thinking maybe she was thinking about swimming and her own survival more than she was thinking about going to beat up somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
You put a muzzle on a dog that never had it on, and the dog,
different dog.
That dog will let any dog walk up, lick on it, and everything, just because the dog is so focused on the muzzle that it can't even think about the dog. So I tell you, dogs cannot think about two things at once. They're the worst at it.
Yeah.
Worst at it. I didn't actually have thoughts in my head to where I can play a song in my head and I can say an affirmation. I could do that. Dogs cannot do that.
Yeah.
About that muzzle, you're not even correcting the behavior of them being dog aggressive, because they're not in that state of mind.
That's right.
I always say that there's many compartments to the dog's brain. It's just our job that we unlock each and every single compartment, and that might be with a sit behavior. You may taught your dog how to sit, but you ain't taught it how to stay there. You might taught your dog how to sit, but you might not have taught your dog how to sit while you're sitting down. You might have taught your dog how to sit, but you might not have taught your dog how to sit in water. You might have taught your dog how to sit, but you haven't taught your dog how to sit while something is moving.
Sit in water.
Man,
they're like floating. They're like, oh no, man, you guys are crazy, dude. Well, and don't take on cases that are above your pay grade, man, and be humble in the fact that, like, this is what's good about belonging to a network, because then we can help with that, you know. And you know, eventually I hope to build Dog Coach and Dog Biz and a couple other of the ideas that I have in the incubator stage there. But for the meantime, you know, be authentic too, and listen to your heart, and listen to, you know, the reason why you're doing this, but also observe the truth. And that's what I was like, dude, this shouldn't be happening, because I'm giving this dog a treat and the dog's blowing me off or running, like, as a beginning dog trainer. I was like, dude, there's something incongruent, or there's something that's a contradiction here, because this is not the way that it's supposed to be, as far as like what I was expecting as the outcome. And always be mindful of that, and know that you're working the dog at the end of your leash. You're not working the dog before or after. Every single dog's that individual, and to pay attention to that individual dog in that moment. And that comes through observation without reaction. Oh, yeah. You good, my man?
Well, man, let's do this again, most definitely, bro.
Yeah, we absolutely will. All right, well, you guys, I'm going to let you all go, but Calvin, you stay there. I'll let you go in the studio here. But, I put up a link too earlier in the comments to Calvin's book here. You guys check it out. It's something that every dog, it's like a manual. You know, it's not that big, not that daunting. You can read it in a few days. And I think that it is also something that would add value to a dog training regiment if you bought a bunch of these for your clients and handed them out at your classes and stuff like that.
I never even told you that like that. That's what's up. That's just verification, bro. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I think it's a good, I mean, that's it, man. This is a resource. And within this resource is contained legit information that people can utilize to switch the lens. I don't want to fix dogs anymore, man, because dogs aren't broken. I want to fix the lens, like Kelly Engel says, about the how people perceive the relationship with this animal. And this is a good way to start that conversation.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. We'll talk to Calvin later, but say goodbye to everybody, Cal.
All right, y'all. I really appreciate you tuning in, and you will see a lot of me.
Yeah, it's just starting. All right, you guys. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you. Peace out.